Welcome everybody to this afternoon's Mayors and Supervisors Update. We're here every Sunday at 1 o'clock. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll start right off the bat with Rick Milne, Mayor of Honeoye Falls. What's new and happening in Honeoye Falls?
Well, good afternoon, Chris and everyone. It's great to see you guys again. We're really continuing on with the same process that we've been under for the last few weeks now as far as opening. I was talking with Supervisor Moffitt, and I think like he'll say, we're starting to see more foot traffic into the village. People are getting out a little bit more, and things are going well. I think everyone has been very respectful of wearing their masks into the village and trying to set up appointments, and we certainly appreciate that. But we are open for business. We are continuing to move forward with live meetings as of right now. And again, as I've said over the last couple weeks, we're trying to enhance that a little bit. So hopefully we'll do some virtual meetings as well, or tied in with the live meetings moving forward. Our concert series continues to go well, and people are doing great. I was, again, very impressed last night, or this past week rather, with the concert that we did have. Again, well attended after a rainfall on Tuesday, and we had to go with a Thursday concert, and people were just really good about keeping separated and spreading out around Harry Allen Park. So really appreciate that, and that helps us feel better about moving some of these things forward. On a downside, as we've talked about over the last couple of weeks, we're certainly disappointed with the closing of Miller Lanes, and the village has been a little bit on a downturn, if I may say, because of COVID and because of businesses where ownership has been in the process for a number of years, and they're changing hands or hoping somebody else will buy their business. So we're a little bit on a downturn right now, and that's been disappointing and a little bit unnerving. But we've gone through this before. We've had multiple businesses close, and all of a sudden we say, "Oh my goodness, we've got more empty spaces in the storefronts in the village than we've ever had." And then all of a sudden 5 or 6 businesses will open back up again, or come. And so hopefully that's the mode we're in. We're starting to have some good dialogue with people who are interested in maybe coming to the village, or we're hearing of people that are looking for space. So yeah, we're a little bit on the downside, but hopefully that's going to turn very soon. And we keep watching, the news, and again, it's almost an everyday turn of events with whether it be the federal government or the state government, but we're really watching how things, come forward with the opening of schools. And, we're learning this past week about it being up to the local municipalities, or the local school districts, I should say, in the local regions. And we know our HFL school district is doing everything they can to do what is right for our school district. And I think they've done a phenomenal job in communicating and in getting a plan in place. So kudos off, our hats are off to the school district for everything they're doing. I will say that people who are not directly involved with the school district really just, I don't think, have a real understanding of everything the school district is going through in trying to get to an open state. And again, I just appreciate everything they're doing. So, we're moving forward. We're trying to support any businesses that want to come to the village. We are, as I talked about last week a little bit, we are really working on trying to enhance our welcoming to the community. And I've met with a couple of individuals who I feel are very important key players, as will, the Sentinel will be as well, but a couple of key players that I think are important to making sure that all people, all families, all businesses that move to our community feel welcome. And I think you'll be hearing more about that in the upcoming weeks, in the not too distant future. So that's really what's going on with the village, and we're happy that we're progressing in a positive fashion.
Excellent. Thank you, Rick.
Very welcome.
John, how's the town of Mendon doing?
Great. Chris, thanks for having me again. Appreciate this opportunity to share with folks. So Town Hall is open, and we have been open since July 6th. We ask that people have their face masks, and we've got social distancing lines on the floor, and so far so good. Everything's been going pretty smoothly. But more and more people, as we went through this area time when everybody was trying to steer clear of one another and stay home and stay safe, more and more people are taking advantage of emailing or calling and that type of thing, which is fine. And in some regards, it's a lot easier when you can get an email and do the proper research before you answer someone. So we're more than happy to have somebody come in, but also they can utilize email, phone calls, that type of thing. We had a planning board meeting this week on the Fern Center, and that's the former Marcus Park on Quaker Meeting House Road. This was the first time they've appeared live. They've been, the other meetings have been via Zoom. And so there will be at least one more meeting, and then it will probably progress to a public hearing at some point. Being the scope of that project, we may take a look at how we're going to facilitate a public hearing, because there is quite a bit of interest in that project. I'm sure several of the neighbors are going to want to be involved and attend a public hearing, as well as just people in the community who are have concerns, supportive, not supportive, whatever the case may be. But we want to hear from everybody. With the Village of Honeoye Falls, we co-own the ambulance facility. So I know we're looking into having to replace the roof on that. And so I've been in touch with Rick about that. So we're in the process of planning for our 2021 budget. So that's something that we're planning on including in our 21 budget. And I've mentioned before that I don't know why, but all of a sudden we seem to be in the roofing phase of buildings, because we're replacing 2 roofs at the highway department and the one at the community center that also houses the Legion. Those bids were accepted and opened, and we are progressing. I think we'll probably have a start date either late this month or early September. So those 2 buildings, roofs aren't something that, they're not particularly something that you can, enjoy that much. But if you don't do your homework and get your roofs properly replaced, it can damage the rest of the building. So we're very cognizant of that. Also, as most Mendon residents know, we do accept school tax payments here at the Mendon Town Hall. So anybody who has any questions about school tax payments, once their tax bills come out, which is usually right around the 1st of September or thereabouts, feel free to contact the town clerk, Jim Mirsky, and he can help you with any questions you have. We certainly are encouraging people to take advantage of either a drop box, which is on the Main Street side of the building, or mail in their payments just to reduce the foot traffic during the pandemic. So other than that, we're open. Things are progressing, and we've just got our fingers crossed that school has a chance to open and things can return to as close to normal as possible.
Very good. Thank you, John. Mike, Town of Lima. How's your bids from last week? Did you end up doing anything?
Yeah, on Tuesday, the town board did accept the bid from Keeney Construction for $195,000 and change to put the elevator system into the town hall. So
Nice.
we'll be doing the kickoff meeting next week, and that project will start rolling through. Folks will see a temporary ramp system built on the front of the building, or a small lift or something like that for access to the first floor while construction is going on. There won't necessarily be any access to the basement level during that time. Voting is here at the town hall, so it'll be on the first floor for the village election in September, and then the regular election there in November. We've had, this is the second week of the soft opening of Johnny B's Custom Barbecue. They're Wednesday through Saturday, 4 to 7, and the response seems to be good. They're doing quite a bit of business, takeout only, and so far so good. I know that more construction on the restaurant has to go on in order for there to be seating and things like that. So we'll see when that happens. George France restaurant construction is going to go on into the fall, October-ish probably, and then we'll see about perhaps their opening also. We have Livingston County has received a donation from Valley Fuels for $1,500 that goes to the Veterans Suicide Program. The Board of Supervisors is in the process of setting up a sequestered account to take those in to make sure that they are simply spent on the Veteran Suicide Program there. Why? Because based on the most recent figures, which were released that are based on 2017, Livingston County has the highest per capita veteran suicide rate in New York State. Not something to be proud of, but that's the way that the numbers come out. We've not been a recipient of the Dwyer funds that New York State has been using for suicide prevention. A couple places did not get them, and Livingston County was one. So that does kind of bear out the fact that that program does work, but we're trying to essentially set up our own without the state funding. The important thing being to get to the veterans and try to stem the tide on this. Any organizations that are interested in participating, like Valley Fuels did, they can contact Jason Skinner at the Veteran Services Agency at the county, or certainly they can get a hold of me and I'll put them into the right person. On the last note, I received the resignation of our highway superintendent, Keith Arner, at the meeting last Tuesday. Keith will be retiring at the end of October. And so we are advertising for an interim highway superintendent to fill out the next year, which is when Keith's term would be up. So anyone who has got those mad highway skills and is interested, please get in touch with me here at the town hall. That's all I got.
Great. Was there any word from Livingston County with regards to sales tax? I know we heard a little bit from Ontario last week, still waiting for Monroe, but just wanted to see if there was an update from Livingston.
Not that I've got off the top of my head. The Ways and Means Committee meets on Monday, and
okay.
That when we would get all the down to the penny figures.
So we'll probably hear something next week then.
Right.
Okay, great. Thanks, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of Ontario County, how's Todd Campbell doing in West Bloomfield?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Chris. Thanks again for hosting us. From town perspective, things are kind of carrying on as they have been for the last couple of months, requesting appointments for people coming into the town hall. Everybody, as has been said, is being pretty respectful, wearing face coverings, etc. The county's got an effort. There are decals and things available to businesses as far as to help with the social distancing at businesses. Summertime versions are with feet with flip-flops. Wintertime are with snow boots. So depending on how long it takes and you want to replace those decals on your floor, you can. We've seen a little bit of an uptick in building permit requests, etc. So seeing the contractors out and getting their schedules kind of built for the fall, seeing a little bit more permit activity. So that's kind of a positive, is starting to see people doing a little bit more and seeing a little bit more construction. I think that in general, the county and the reduction in sales tax, we're starting at the county level our budget prep at our committee meetings this week. So we're starting the early stages of that. And it'll be interesting to see what the impacts are on the county's kind of rolling 5-year plan, how we deal with the shortfall for this year and look at what the individual departments will be doing over the next couple of years. And we tend to model that then at the town to not try to fix what happened this year in the 2021 budget, but to take a 2 to 3 year approach of what's going to have to change and how we're going to have to deal with those changes. One of the things that is important, I guess, is that we, as leaders, we still have to provide all the same level of services, et cetera, to our residents. We still are going to have to snow plow this winter. We're going to still have to buy salt on the state contract. We still have to do oil and stone. So there's a significant part of our budgets that are pretty fixed that we can't just whack off 20% and say, okay, we're not going to do it. So it has to take a measured approach of what we reduce, how we reduce it, and what the impacts will be over a couple of years. From a school perspective, I can tell you that the Bloomfield School District hosted an event last night for parents, kind of a online question and answer session. It was recorded, so any parents that missed it, they can go back onto the school's Facebook page and or their website and go back and watch that. A lot of good questions, a lot of answers. The school was intending to open on September 8th. That's been moved to the 9th. There's a bunch of education that the teachers need to get to help with cleaning, disinfecting processes, procedures, et cetera. So they moved the opening date 1 day back. But they are very much looking forward to getting all the kids kind of back in school in that kind of blended hybrid model that everybody's going to have to get used to doing. We will most likely continue doing our monthly board meetings via Zoom. We've just, the number of attendees at our meetings is usually relatively low. It's safer and easier for everybody if we can do it via Zoom. Our workshop meetings that typically tend to be only board members, we might start back live and in person. But given the governor's extension of that executive order, I'm curious to see what the long-term impacts will be on our meetings over the coming years, whether we will start to allow Zoom WebEx kind of participation in meetings for voting, et cetera, as things move over the next couple of years and people get more used to the technology and it's proven that it's effective and that it works for meetings like that. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. I'm just thinking about technology. We need electricity. As long as we have electricity, we can do it. We had an out last week. I don't know if all you guys did. Some people in the area had outages, and it just kind of drove people crazy because they didn't have any connection to the outside world. So anyways, that's a little diversion. All right, sorry. Eileen, I want to take away from your news in Scottsville. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on the fire proposals. What's new with that?
Okay, sure. Hello to everybody, and it's me. Oh, I came up again. Look at that. I thought I was the mystery mayor. Oh, well. Okay. Scottsville's doing well. Things are pretty quiet at the moment. We had our fire district public hearing this past Tuesday. And at that public hearing, we did it so that people could come in. They were in a different room and they came in to meet with the two boards one at a time if they had something to say. And we also did it remotely. We only had one person that spoke to us in person, and we had about 2 other people that spoke to us remotely. And afterwards, the town and village boards passed the resolution to establish the Wheatland-Scottsville Joint Fire District subject to a permissive referendum. Okay, and that will end 30 days from August 4th, that permissive referendum. Other than that, it went very well. As for other meetings, we're still doing them remotely along with the town. The town municipal building is still by appointment only, and we follow along with that. We will continue that virtual meeting on this Tuesday, August 11th, will be our regular board meeting, and people can access it remotely. Just look for the number will be posted that you can call in and listen in and speak during the public session. North Road. North Road is moving along. Of course, it's disrupted a lot of traffic and it's changed traffic patterns around the village. Right now they're putting in curbing and we'll be moving along. As I've said before, this is a long project. We're thinking at least through the end of this year. People, if you have any concerns or questions, North Road residents have been getting a newsletter, excuse me, from the Monroe County DOT. And at the bottom of that newsletter are contact numbers for Jim Bennett, who is the engineer in charge of the project, and he's usually in the village during the day, and Karen Cox, who is the DOT person. Feel free to call them with any concerns or questions you have. You'll probably get an answer faster by calling them directly rather than calling us, because then we have to call them and everything. So you'll probably get an answer much quicker. As for businesses in the village, we've always had a laundromat in Scottsville, but it's been taken over by a new company called Bright Bubbles, and they are having their grand opening August 15th. It's a Saturday. We've been doing a lot of remodeling, so it'll be nice to see. I know it's an important part of our village for our apartment residents and for other residents in the village. Still a Dance, another business in our village, is not leaving, but just moving across the street to the old, what I remember as Starkweather Chevrolet. They're moving into that building, have a little more room, which is going to leave their old building, which I remember as Embledge Pharmacy, and then the Annis Dairy back in my day. So that building will be empty and open for any business that might be interested in coming in. As for the school district, I know they've been working diligently this summer on a plan they submitted to the state with different options. They're just waiting to decide how they will do that. I encourage people, I know that they've posted the full plan, and they've also posted the plan at a glance so you can get an idea of what they're looking at. I encourage you to go onto the district website and read through that, because I know parents are concerned, and this will give you a better idea of what the school is planning so that you can make correct decisions for your child. Other than that, like I said, things are fairly quiet. We're, trying to enjoy the nice weather with the intermittent rainstorms, which are helpful, keep the grass green. And other than that, we're doing okay and hope everybody else is too.
Very good. Thank you, Eileen. So Jerry, tell us what's happening in the wonderful town of Rush.
Well, given that Rush is the best kept secret in Western New York, it's hard to upstage those who preceded me in giving their information. But the exciting thing for us today is that we will be open to walk-in traffic on Monday. The town hall will be, the library won't be. The town hall will be because we had the sneeze shields installed in key areas. We've got markings on the floor indicating the correct social distancing. We have sanitizer, masks, and other things at the doorway to come in. And we don't have a history of long lines at the clerk's counter to pay taxes. So on a given day, if we get 2 people backed up, that's a lot. So we're going to go ahead and open it up and see how it goes. On Thursday, the clerk's office will not be open. The clerk and deputy are going for training with the county treasury department. But Monday through Wednesday and Friday, they will be open to conduct business. We're still waiting for our food establishments to open to sit-down dining, and anxious for that. We don't have any of the school problems other than the effect the school reopening will have on our recreation programs, because we have after-school care and a couple of other programs that we offer. But it's hard because of the unusual scheduling that the school districts are going through to get the kids in there and get them educated. So that's all fun to watch. But other than that, we don't have much going on in Rush. We're just waiting and hoping. And one of the big hopes is that that resurgence of this virus doesn't come back in this direction.
Mhm.
Here, here.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Thank you, everyone, for participating. Anybody else have any second thoughts or last-minute thoughts that they want to throw in? Eileen, you were probably towards the end, so you probably don't have anything new.
No, when I
Okay.
was at the beginning, I always got extra thoughts at the
Right.
end. But
All right. Well, thank you all for participating this week. Thank you all viewers for watching this week. Come back next week and maybe we'll have some updates on what's going on with the sales tax. So for now, thank you and bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Chris,
Bye-bye.